Hey, my name's Joel from Not Your Own Road Trip, and today we're going to do a thorough walkthrough of the RV. We're actually putting it for sale. It served us well. I modified it a ton to allow us to live in it for a few months while we searched for a new house. Now that we found the new house, we don't need it right now. We'd rather have some funds to work on the house. So we're just going to do a quick walkthrough so you get a good idea of what I did to it and what it looks like. So this is a 1997 Winnebago Itasca Suncruiser. It's 32 feet. It's got a Ford chassis with a big block 460 gasoline engine. And right from the start you'll see the awning, brand new awning. It's got an American flag print. So that's brand new. And then start with the exterior. Right here you got the little table, radio, speakers. Pop that off and put it away. Close that up. And then go through the compartments real quick. So here's where your freshwater tank is. You got your freshwater fill, freshwater tank. I think it holds about 70 gallons. Got all my hoses down here. Here's your water pump. And this one is just storage. It goes all the way through, so it's kind of nice for some long items. These are brand new, all around Nokian tires. So you have 6 brand new tires with, I don't know, maybe 5,000 miles on them. And then I did have them add the valves so you can air up the inner tire easily and then the outer tire as well. Here you have your propane tank. And then here you have more storage. Now on the back there you'll see the furnace, the HVAC ducting, and then here's where you get to some of my modifications. This is a 4,000 watt inverter and 3 auxiliary batteries for the cabin. So you have 5 cabin batteries altogether. So about, I think it's 500 amp hours total of power, and then 1 more for the actual truck part. Then that inverter has a remote switch inside, so you can click it on and it gives you 120 volt power off the batteries. So that's kind of cool. Moving on to this is just a nice compartment for storage. Got some cup holders right here. These are magnetic. And here you can see one of the cameras I added to the mirrors, so this gives you your view of the right mirror. Now, moving around to the front, I did find an issue with the heater core once it got cold and we did some cold weather camping, so I went ahead and installed a brand new heater core and then a new washer, fluid reservoir and pump, and other than that, this thing's good to go. Just a fresh oil change, fresh tune-up, all that good stuff. Moving around to the driver's side, this model does have a driver door, so that's pretty handy. This is your biggest storage compartment. So this one does go half through and then just gives you a nice big space. Here we have a smaller one. This is the other side of those batteries, so it's just kind of like a little storage spot. I keep like the sewer support there. Here's your furnace, exhaust, and intake. Now here's the wet bay. So I keep all of our sewer supplies in this tote and it fits in this slot. Here you have your power cord. So this is a 30 amp. Keep some wheel chocks in here. And you got your dump tube for the gray water tank, black water tank, and then I put an auxiliary dump to, in case one of these were to leak, this will catch it so you don't get any messes. Now behind here you'll see more of my modifications. Here we added a transfer switch like auxiliary to the original transfer switch, and that's because you have that inverter power now. So it'll pick automatically between inverter power, generator power, or shore power. And then you also have a circuit breaker. This one powers the generator for the power. So if you plug into shore power, it charges your batteries, but if you go to inverter power, it won't charge the batteries because it would be a waste. So this is how I did that. So it's also got a circuit breaker. That's nice. You can actually flip it off. If, say, you're plugged into 110 and wanted that extra couple amps, you could turn that off. You also have a circuit breaker here for the washing machine and the combination dryer. So that's there too. Now you also have a surge guard. So this keeps all that power clean. Again, there's a remote view inside of the RV. So it tells you how much amperage you're using and pretty much checks the power, and if it's not good, then it won't click it on. But the way I wired it, I hardwired it in after everything. So you plug into shore power, it's monitoring shore power. You go to inverter power, it's monitoring that. And if you go to the generator, if say there's an issue and the generator revs up, puts too much volts in the system, I actually click it off and keep everything safe. So you know, I have a bunch of smart TVs and computer in there, and so that was kind of the move to keep everything safe. So you also got a hot and cold water tap out here with a spout. So outdoor shower if you wanted. And a remote switch for the water pump as well. And a switch for the exterior light. Alright, here you have the back side of the fridge. Don't need to do anything back here, but this is where you would service it. And this is also the hot water heater. This is an Atwood aluminum, so there's nothing to do. There's no anode rods, it won't rust. And you got your igniter and everything. This thing has been serviced with a new igniter, so it's good to go. It is propane only. I know there's some electric ones out there, but that's propane only. Here's your dryer vent, just real simple. Found the simpler the better for that, but that's where the vent outputs. Got your gas fill on the side, it's lockable. Here's just the other side of that through storage compartment. Nothing in here too fancy. And then here's where you'll find your 5,000 watt Onan generator. Again, freshly serviced, good to go. That one can be activated from here, or from above the stove, or from the driver's seat. So there's 3 ways to start and stop it. Around back you'll find just another storage, just a compartment. I keep a couple spare belts in there, some spare wiper blades, that kind of stuff. I keep all my towing stuff back here, along with some extra oil and that kind of thing. I'll take you up top real quick and I'll show you the solar. So up here on top you can find some of the modifications I did. So here is your backup camera. This is the AC above the bedroom. This is a Winnebago, so it's got a one-piece fiberglass roof. So they're really strong. You can walk on them, no problem, and they are really resistant to leaking. So this is where the only issue on the roof was. It was before I owned it, but it looks to be good now. This is the Skylight above the shower. So you could see that it had some cracks and it's got tape around it. It did cause a little bit of damage, like a little delamination on the wall, but overall we've never had any issues with it. So this is the vent for the main living space. Here's your refrigerator vent for the propane. Here's your second AC unit for the main unit, for the main living space. And then here's where you have your 400 watts of solar. I actually mounted these with rails, so they are easily removable without damaging the roof or anything like that. You can also add to it or take away or prop them up. You can do a bunch of stuff. It's really modular the way I mounted them on rails. And then also the ports go in. Here's another auxiliary camera up here. Your CB antenna and your FM antenna. And then that's a front view camera. And then I also added one more camera up here, and this is the highest point of the roof. It's 12 feet. It's actually 11'9", and then they always say allow like 3 inches or whatever. So this is the highest point, and you have a camera on it. And what I use it for is just dodging tree branches and stuff, making sure that you'll fit and that you're not going to damage anything up here. Give you a nice view of the roof and show you there's no damage or anything like that. And here you get a good view of that awning too. Obviously this cord is just my camera. I didn't want to screw into this thing, and so I just kind of zip tied it in place, and it don't bother no one. Alright, moving on into the inside. You do have, before we go in, your windows. This is the master bedroom. The bottoms fold out. And then these are slides with screens. And there's one more slide for the passenger window. Here you have a screen door. So you can leave the screen door open and just pin the door open with a little pin. Under this step is where you have your factory batteries. So you just unclip that. And you'll find 3 more batteries. This is the main truck battery on the right. I actually wired in their own cutoff switches. And then the 2 more, these are the 2 factory batteries. Obviously they're brand new, but this is where the 2 factory ones were. And then you have your shunt. This is a Victron 710. And it actually, all the negatives run through this shunt, and it measures all the voltage going in and out. And then you have your solar fuse right here. And that is wired up right to the positive of the batteries. And again, the negative goes through that shunt so it can monitor how much energy the solar is putting back into the system. Got a couple switches right here. Here's your porch light. And then this one is the one ceiling light. So you can actually control that one on this switch. The rest are controlled just on the actual units themselves. So inside we have seating for 6 with seat belts. So you have 3 individual chairs, and then this couch actually has 3 seat belts in it. And this couch actually does unfold into a bed. I'll show you how that works real quick. So all you do is lift on it until you get out. It goes flat, flip that cushion over, boom, you got a bed. And then you can also see down here, here are the seat belts. So they just kind of fall on the back there. If you need them, pull them out. Put that back. Moving on to these 3, these are all on swivels, so you can turn them as you like. You get a little unfolding table, and the remotes for the Element Smart TV with the speaker, and it actually has a subwoofer by the driver footwell. Over here, you'll see more modifications I made. Go ahead and flip this on. So say you're going to hit the road, lock this seat in place. Now we can fire this thing up, and we can also flip that switch. This powers up my new switchboard. We got a volt gauge, we got some auxiliary power, just a cigarette lighter plug, a couple USBs, and then we got power for the GPS, and we got power for my cameras. They all come on. We got BB-8. And then you got LEDs that I added in. And these are on a remote, so you guys can actually change the color to whatever you like. I like them green. So you can also see that I added in a touchscreen Bluetooth radio right here, and then I added this whole dash pod right here. This is the solar controller. It's an MPPT, 40 amp capable, and that one's kind of cool. It's like a smart controller, so even if like this solar's like in the shade, it kind of does its best to maximize its efficiency. Here you have your Bluetooth on that, so you can actually monitor that with your phone with Renology's app. And then you have your Surge Guard display and your Vitron battery display. And then this is the remote for that inverter. So for instance, we can go ahead and hold that for a sec, click it on, and go ahead and powers up the Surge Guard. This has about a 2-minute delay, so at 127 seconds it will click on, and if there's any issues with the power, it'll click it off. But if there's no issues, boom, you got all your outlets working off of batteries, and then you have an accurate way to monitor those batteries. BB-8 is a USB hub, so you can actually plug USB outlets into him and he will charge your devices. You got a little storage space here, storage drawer, got your big sun visors, and outlet above there, and a lot of storage in the front here. Over on this side, you'll find your generator start stop, so you can actually fire up the generator from right here. Go ahead and fire him up and shut him off. Now, like I said, even if you had the inverter on and you fired up that generator, the transfer switches would automatically say, I'd rather run off the generator than the inverter and waste battery power. So it'll automatically switch over and it'll all still go through that Surge Guard. And then we got your heater. So here's the normal heater controls, AC controls for the vents while you're driving down the road. And then you do have a auxiliary rear heater under the bed. So if you click this on, it'll actually take coolant heat from the engine and give you a little heat in the back as well from the vents here. And then the air conditioning does work. I have a little magnet here just to hold my phone. And on this side, you have an auxiliary on switch for the radio. So if you just want to turn the radio on with no key in the ignition, you just click that. Same with a starter. So if your battery in the truck dies, this is a starter switch for the truck engine off of the rear batteries. And this actually controls power to the rear cabin. So it's a remote switch that you could actually cut the power off or turn it on. And then down here, you have your leveling system. This is a hydraulic leveling. It's kind of like landing gear. So to use it, you would click key to the on position, or you could do it off auxiliary. So like turning the key backward and just having the radio on. You click on with that, and then down here You have some levers. And here, actually, I'll open the door. Over here at your levers, you pull the outer sticks out, and then you would extend the front by pulling this to the front. And then pull it to the rear to lower the rear. Once they're touched down, I usually just use the bubble levels and level it out. So, wrong way. There you go. We raise up the rear a little bit. Easy as that, you're leveled out. So that's a feature of this unit that I really like. Climb back in here. Now from my cameras, you can see, if you're looking at the dash going down the road, you have your GPS front and center. This is an 8-inch Garmin RV GPS, so it actually takes into consideration your weight, height, length, all that good stuff, and routes you the best way possible. And then you have your left mirror and your right mirror. So here you can see the awning and the steps out and everything. Here's your rear camera. And then this is your front camera. I actually have two. This is the clearance camera on the top of that AC unit. And you can actually switch to the front view too. These are all night vision. They'll switch to black and white and go on infrared. So that's kind of cool. And they do, people think like, oh, doesn't it block your vision? It doesn't block anything important. It just blocks what's right in front of the RV. And unless you're riding someone's butt, then that's not going to be a problem. So it doesn't really obscure your view. When you're going on the road, they're so helpful. It outweighs anything of what it blocks. It turns like driving this thing down the road from like anxiety. Is there a car next to me? I don't know. If I back up, what's back there? Imagine trying to back this thing up with nothing. You can't see anything. So with the camera, it is a no-brainer. It takes it all out of the equation. So it's pretty handy to have those cameras. Moving on, we'll do some of this storage. Here you have a couple shelves in here. Just a little storage. This one is next to the TV. This one has your box in it like there would be a VCR. I actually got my Xbox in here and it worked out real well. It's got a little kickstand on this side so you can hold it open. This TV is on a swivel, so you can actually pull it out and push it to the side. Kind of make it easy to see. I used to have a desktop computer, so if you have one, it would actually fit right in here, and I actually have these little latches to lock it in place. And then some more storage. These are the curtains for the front window. So all you do is grab these button snaps and then you can pull the curtain out. It goes all the way around, and then there's another on the other side. You block out those front windows. Some more storage. This one has shelves on this side. All of these lights are amber, but they're LEDs actually. So they kind of give you the look of a normal light bulb, but everything in here is LED. Over the windows, you have these shades. You have the kind of just privacy shades, and then you also have the dark shades. And all the windows have that. Some more storage in the dining area. This is our Marcel unit. If you don't know what that is, it's essentially a monitor. If you have pets, it is really the main thing I used it for. So it tells you via text message if the RV is unplugged or if the temperatures go outside of the parameters that you set. So say it's really hot in the summer and the AC can't keep up and it's 85 degrees in here, it'll send you a text warning you that your pets might be in danger. Or say you pop a fuse and it tells you the power's out, so you know you can turn around before it gets super hot in here and save your pets. It also monitors humidity. Here you have the kitchen area. So you have microwave. You can see it's actually powered off the inverter right now. Here's the third way to start the generator. You have a fan for the stove, light above the stove, 3 burners, and an oven. You have the covers for the sink, and this is actually filtered on a really nice filter under here. So you have nice filtered water. I actually have this awesome manual for this whole thing with everything that's installed in it. So this is like gold. And then the dinette is the only thing that's really different about here from factory. So the people we bought it from, they ripped it out so they'd have more room, and they just had a folding table and folding chairs. So we kind of kept the same route. We did live in here with cats, so I actually hid their litter boxes in this bench. So you actually see these little flapper doors that they would crawl through, but this bench opens up and gives you a nice amount of storage. And obviously it also doubles as a seat. And then we use this folding table and a little folding bench, and easily get seating for 4. And then obviously, if you don't want them and you'd rather have the space, you just fold them up and they actually fit right behind the couch, no problem. So that's what usually when we're going on the road, we would have these things just folded up and pull them out as we needed them. These thermostats, they're factory Coleman units. Now they're upgraded to digital units. So the front and rear are digital. You have your heating on the front and this front AC unit. And then you can actually control the fan too. And then you got your digital readout for temperature, which is awesome. And then everything gets controlled above here. This is a 30 amp, so you can't run both AC units at the same time, but you have your front and your rear. So you just switch between the two. You want the power of the rear, switch it to the rear, and vice versa. You also get a couple fuses in here, if anything blows. And then under the refrigerator, which is a combination propane and electric. So right now, it's actually, if I flip the breaker on it, it'll be powered on the inverter. So one of the coolest parts of that inverter is that it powers the fridge while you're going on the road. So that's amazing. There's no other way to do that. Everyone else that's going on the road, their fridges are off while they're going because they cannot run on propane while you're going on the road. So that's huge. Got your freezer. I put a little thermometer in there to measure it. And same with this one. So they're latching. Hung this little mirror here. Well, if you're wondering, I forgot to mention this little switch right here. This is an old school feature that was on the old thermostats. That's not like something that you would find on a new thermostat, but essentially that's like high and low on the fan speed. So if you're running the AC and it's really hot, you can actually click that to high. It'll actually light up to indicate that it's on, and the fan will go blow harder. So that's kind of cool, but that's how I retained that feature, is by adding that little switch. Moving to the rear, you got your closet. Kind of like an open closet because I added this Equator Super Combo washer dryer. So this thing is super cool. Got your fill-ups for your softener, your soap, and start button. You just rotate this to whatever setting you want. Holds quite a bit of clothes. You fill it up about 2/3 of the way. And you can do laundry on the road, which is really cool. One of the things that we did not want to do was ever stop at a laundromat, and because of this thing, we never had to. So, awesome feature, and it was worth every penny. Already installed, already works. You won't find that feature on an RV until like probably 2015 at the earliest. Moving on to the bathroom. Got a old school bathroom. I never really touched in here other than I added another soap retainer. So got your shampoo, conditioner, body wash, and I added a newer, really efficient water spout. Get your sink, toilet. I moved the toilet paper hanger right there. This is the hamper for your clothes. Got a drawer. Got an outlet with a GCFI. And some under sink storage. And actually, I added a bidet to this toilet. So that's kind of a cool feature. If you've never used one, bidets are the best, and I cannot live without one. And if you buy this, neither will you have to. So, kind of cool. Just give this thing a little twist, and the water will actually squirt out. And it's teed in right there on that PEX tubing. And then you got lighting above the sink, and you actually have a fan up here. Storage. More storage. And this is a vent for the air conditioning. And there's a vent down there for the heat. Moving on to the master bedroom. The mattress is gone because that's our mattress. I figured anyone that were to buy this thing would just put a fresh mattress in here. You can't lift up on this. It has some struts. And there's that rear heater I was talking about earlier. So this actually ducts warm air from the coolant while the engine is running and gives you some warmth back here. So that's kind of an awesome feature. This little dangling piece right here is a kickstand. When there's an actual mattress on here, it's really heavy and the struts aren't strong enough to hold this thing up. So that's like a kickstand I added. So you can actually get stuff out of here and it becomes functional storage because it's not smashing you while you're getting it. We got shades on here. And these are the rotating out windows. Just give those a spin. And the windows open right up. The rear window doesn't open because it's an emergency exit. You just give that a pull and then push that window out and you can get out in case of emergency. You do have a couple reading lights on their own switches. Just click those on, click them off. You got mirrored cabinets. This is hanging storage on both sides, along with 3 drawers. And then you got these big cabinets. This is one big open cavity. Here you got the thermostat, digital readout, fan control. This one does not do the heat. This is cool only because the heat actually is the entire RV, whereas the AC systems are back and front. And this one also has the high and low output. Here you got the 32-inch smart Samsung TV back here. And room for a DVD player. I usually just use a Fire Stick with a hotspot. But got your remote up here. Some power. You got even a cigarette lighter power and your cable, because it's cable ready. And then over here you got the same 2 compartments. And 3 drawers. Right behind the TV here, you'll see tucked under is the light switches. So that's how you do that. Got a little smoke detector back here. And then underneath the fridge is where you'll find the circuit breaker that came with the unit. So this is like your outlets and stuff. It's actually the sheet right there. So it's like the main, the outlets, the AC, and this one that's clicked off right here is the fridge. So click that on, the fridge will start running on the inverter. It's clicked off right now because we're not using it. And then kitchen storage. Got the little rubber sheets in here to keep the stuff from sliding around. You got the 4 drawers. These are all latching drawers, so when you close them, they actually lock. Yeah, we almost finished the stove. And you got one more fan right here, so you just give this a twist, and it turns right on. You got your speed control on the other side. And that's about it. That's about a thorough walkthrough as I could do. There's nothing really else I could think of to show. It does only have 52,955 miles, so just about to roll 53,000 miles, and it's been really good. We're looking forward to giving it to someone who is maybe not so savvy that could set up all of these features that I did. Having that inverter makes dry camping super easy. Like you can boondock no problem. You can run this thing on 110 in someone's driveway. It really opens up the ability to camp like Harvest Host style, where you're not going to be able to plug in. As long as it's not super hot where you need to run the air conditioning, then you can use all of the features like the TVs and all the even the microwave and stuff off the inverter, and the power really lasts a long time off those batteries, so you don't have to be in a rush to plug in or be running that noisy generator and wasting gas. So that's why I did it. The solar also pretty much completely offsets the fridge, so if you were to just leave this thing as is with the fridge running, the batteries will never really drain, because they'll drain at night and they'll just recharge themselves off the solar in the morning. Also, when you turn the key and you're driving down the road, the alternator will just charge those batteries up really fast too. So running that fridge while going on the road and having the hardwired in surge guard to protect everything, kind of like the 2 most important mods that I did on this thing. And the cameras too definitely make it a huge difference. But that's the RV that I call the Whale King, and it was a lot of fun, and I'm actually looking forward to building another one later when we're ready to hit the road again and do some more traveling. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.